Hey, Ryan. So far, we've had Shannon Sharp taking one, Aeneas Williams, uh, Sharp taken by Philly. Chicago grabs Aeneas Williams, cornerback. San Fran grabs Ted Washington. So Mo Lewis, who I had number one overall, makes it all the way to number four. And Brian Cox won't last much longer himself, I don't think. Which there's nothing wrong with the guys drafted 1, 2, 3. It's getting down to need here. And you've got great value out of any of these guys. So there goes Terry Allen. Is your microphone on, Ryan? Make sure my speakers are on. Ryan's taking Keith Traylor, defensive lineman who lasts forever. If you could hear me, Ryan, nod. Okay, I can't hear you. And it could be something I'm doing. Just making sure I haven't got you muted. No, I don't have you muted. Okay. Long-term defensive lineman Traylor. He was one of those guys that, depending on need, there's no telling where he might go exactly. I didn't think he'd make it all the way to 24 like in the mock for sure. There's a couple guys I thought would go during the mock. They didn't quite go. Those may have been some of the ones Mick was talking about. He had like 5 that were outside the mock. Herman Moore. I do like Herman Moore. I was not planning on, even though I could use a receiver, I wasn't planning on drafting him as highly as I think others would. I do like him. I just tend to go for the guys with the bigger long gains myself. And he's got some years where he's got those, but he's got a lot of years where he's kind of a 5.55 kind of guy. Catches a lot, but maybe only like 4 long gains total on short or 3. And so that's the reason I didn't rank him quite as high. I felt he would go very highly, but like Brian Cox, I had rated higher than him. Still can't hear you, Ryan. I can hear other noises, so I know I've got my microphone or my speakers on, and it doesn't say you're muted. Okay, Merton Hanks. It's going to go number 9, number 9, number 9. Todd Light. Had him ranked slightly higher than Merton Hanks. They're almost the same over their career. I just like the fact he's a cornerback instead of a safety mostly. But I had them very close on my board, right next to each other. So it's going to make Light the 10th pick. Kroll goes number 11. So we got Cincinnati coming up. We'll look at Marcus Robertson here. I'm thinking Eric Swan might be a choice. Ben Coates, of course, good choice there. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good commentary. I'm kind of watching the board and trying to think ahead to what I'm going to have available at 24. There's Eric Williams. I believe that's pick 13. A couple of offensive linemen named Williams. James O being the other. I was going to say I can draft for Dale in a pinch if needed. I had looked at his team for the mock draft. Dale is here. Marcus Robertson goes 14. He's a good guy for about that spot. I think the mock draft probably had him right in this range also. He's got quite a few total ratings over his career, as well as at least three free safety sixes. Yeah, I believe he's got 3 of them. So we're at pick 15. Well, I didn't have anybody join the streamcast here. Ryan was on for a moment, but I wasn't able to hear him. I was worried I didn't have something set up on my end right, but I think I do. Just kind of looking over my board since nobody's on right now. So a couple of guys I really would love to see drop a little farther that I had ranked like 10 and 11. But I don't know if they'll get that far down. There goes one of them, William Thomas, who I had ranked 10th. That's a good pick. William Thomas and Roman Pfeiffer are very similar. You get more pass rush with William Thomas, more overall ratings with Roman Pfeiffer. Both of them give you a pair of 6 linebacker ratings. So had them ranked almost identical. And like I say, I had them ranked at overall 10 and 11 personally. My board's, of course, tilted a little bit toward my team, but I'm set at outside linebacker. But, you know, Bennett is one of those guys that can move to the middle, I believe, in like 95. And after that, he's like 5'7", you know, 4'8", a couple of years. So I'm interested in an outside linebacker that might have a delayed start to his career. So guys like Roman Pfeiffer, wouldn't be a bad fit for me. If you get somebody that you all of a sudden get deep at because you've got a younger replacement, of course you can always trade him. There goes Phil Hansen. I like Phil Hansen. He's one of those guys you get a lot of years out of, and so he's your third guy some years. Maybe he's a 5-5, and you happen to find somebody better. You still got a valuable guy to come off your bench and, like I say, always be one of your rotation defensive ends for like 10 years. So I do like Hansen. Had him ranked just a bit lower on my board because currently I'm kind of deep at defensive end until John Randall moves back to the middle. So let's see. Cleveland was 15. That's going to make Hansen 16. Right now, I think Eric Swan's the best player on the board that hadn't been taken. Actually had him ranked really high. I had him ranked 8th overall, and he's still here at 17, I believe. He plays defensive end just like for a year or so at the beginning of his career, but then you get 5 6s in a row with Swan. 6, what is it? 6'5", 6'7", 6'12", 6'5", 6'9". I mean, good enough that you'd be happy with him as your nose tackle, getting some pass rush and a 5 rating. Defensive tackle, he'll be one of the 3 or 4 best during that 5-year stretch. So, really good player. Kind of thought would go higher. It was Eric Turner. There's a guy that went a little higher than I expected. He's got a couple 6s, and he's got a nice career. He's just one of those guys I had pegged more in the late parts of the first round, early second. To me, there goes Pfeiffer. I was going to say Pfeiffer would be one of the, behind Swan, Pfeiffer would be one of the best values I feel is still on the board at this point. If you need a running back, Gary Brown would be a good fit in this range. Let me see if I can figure out what pick this is. England. It's going to be 18, so I'm up 6 picks from now. I've already kind of pre-thought, oh, there goes Swan. I was going to say, I've already kind of pre-thought this out, and if Eric Swan somehow falls, I will switch to a 4-3. I'll trade one of my middle linebackers, but I was already committed Eric Swan as one of those guys that, even though it doesn't fit my base D, he's good enough. You change what you're doing if you can get him, I think, at 24. So I was kind of hoping he might go ahead and slide there, but it doesn't look like he will. Okay. So Swan goes to Mr. Nemo at 19. One of the best value picks of the draft so far. It looks like my pick right here is looking That's Neil O'Donnell still on the board. I'm not going to take him. He shouldn't be there. Stan grabbing a pass rusher who I liked and was kind of looking at 24. I think I wouldn't have taken him out. Have bigger needs personally at long-term wide receiver. There's a better fit for me, I think. Right now I'm studying Harvey Williams. Well, both he and Gary Brown. Guys that have some long-term value for me. Neil O'Donnell. There he goes. It's a good value pick at 22. I was just about to look up Gary Brown long-term fumbles, and he gets taken off the board. 23. It'd be hard for me to pass Sean Jefferson. Well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this down at the end of round one. It's Interesting first round draft. I'm sure we'll do a draft recap, so we'll get back into this when we get more guys online. And hope you guys have a good rest of the draft. I'm almost done. I've got like a pick 13 picks into the second round, and I'm done. So have a great draft, and I'm out of here.